Hey, everybody, welcome to a very special edition of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. It's your boy Gio here from A Week in Geekdom, and I'm joined by two fabulous co-hosts up above there. You got Comics Guide Lou. How you doing, buddy?
Hey man, how's it going?
Doing pretty well myself. And over here, I think is this your first Monday show, Minister of Comics?
I'm not sure. I know I've been on like a handful of times. I can't remember if it was a Monday shows or Thursday shows. One
Well,
of the two.
regardless, Taylor, we're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for filling in. Jess is on assignment. I told him he has to do some research, so he's not available tonight. He'll be back Thursday, probably. But you answered the Omnibros call, and I'm really excited about that. Thank you so much, buddy.
I'll try to fill in for Jess, and I'll be 1990 Omni Dog. How about that?
Oh, I'm pretty sure we're going to have the multiverse dogs pop up soon in the chat because it's already pretty lively. We got everybody. The collectors in the house. Brickowowski. I hope I said that right. Hey. Vigilante Danny's here. James. Bat Jesus. Eduardo. Rose Gray. Kenny, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey-o. Chris, Original Recipe. Guest Omnibro. There you go. I'm special and people like me. There you go, sir. Sure. Did Minister of Comics just replace Tyler and Jess? If you want to believe that, James, we'll go with that narrative. Sure.
Just fill in the details yourself.
Yeah. It's a choose your own adventure game. Gary Sandberg ordered Black Hammer. Nice. That is coming up on today's or tonight's previews. That's a book that a lot of people are excited about.
Lou, do you have any like physical collected editions anymore? Like, do you have any, or is it all strictly digital?
It's pretty much all strictly digital. I gave that up a while ago when I woke up. When I woke up one morning, and I looked at my shelves and I said, "Why the hell am I collecting a lot of this crap? Like, I'm not reading 90% of it." So, I sold it.
I knew you got rid of most of it. I didn't know if you had like 5 or 10 that you just had left because you really didn't want to let go of them. Well, wow, you really
Even
jumped
the
in.
Hellboy stuff.
Even the Hellboy stuff, man. All that stuff went.
Dang.
Part of it went just throughout the years. Part of it went to help me move to Miami, and part of it was just me. I was just sitting on a shelf and I wasn't doing anything with it. So I was like, okay, time to let this go. So
I wish we were all as strong as you to do that.
I'm so weak. I'm so weak.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, by all means, if you want physical books and collect what you want, love what you want, man. That's the whole. We're only here for such a short amount of time, so enjoy it. By all means, collect anything you want to collect. But like I said, woke up one morning and I was like, this is just a shelf of stuff that I have that I could get this digitally. And it's taking up some space.
Instead of dirt being poured on my casket, they can just pour all of my books on top of it. That'd be a good way to be encased forever.
Yeah, you're not going to come back as a zombie because those books are heavy. You're not going to be able to wiggle your way out of that. He saw the feature and knew he was going to be taxed on it.
You're not wrong.
Eduardo, hit the like, guys. We're behind on those already. Good point, my dude. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you. Pronounced like Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc. Brickowski. I think I said that right now. Either way, let me remind you, everybody, that tonight's episode is sponsored by the fabulous folks at InStockTrades.com. IST, as we like to say, where you can get your collected editions, whether it be an omnibus, hardcover, trade paperback, absolute, whatever it may be. When it comes to collected editions, you go to InStockTrades.com. $50 or more gets you free shipping. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Also, they provide us a gift card for you guys at the end of every month. So stay tuned for that, which should be 2 weeks from now. On the 25th of October, we'll be giving away a $50 gift card courtesy of InStockTrades.com.
A lot of people in the chat are talking about the Batman TMNT omnibus being canceled. I didn't hear about that. Is that a new development?
How about getting axed? What?
I'm going to be very upset if that's true. I was really looking forward to that omnibus because I love that series.
Let me check because I thought it was coming out. What the hell?
DC's been doing better with not canceling stuff and going through with solicit, so I wasn't expecting that as much because they've been at least been somewhat doing their jobs recently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unless
they've been on,
maybe
Sorry.
they hit a snag when it comes to licensing or something. I don't know.
It could be they're going to resolicit it later.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's not totally. That seems like a slam dunk sale that a lot of people would buy. TMNT and Batman, two of the biggest properties right now.
Yep.
And like you said, they've been on the ball lately with all their stuff. Everything that they've said is coming out has been coming out from all accounts, and they've been reprinting a lot of stuff. So I've actually been impressed based on what you guys have talked about over the last few weeks.
Yeah, and one of the Omnis we'll be talking about is one that kept getting canceled and pushed for over a year and a half, and they're finally going through with it. So maybe it'll be something like that where we'll get it sometime next year. But I really wanted it in December, so DC, please don't screw us over any further.
Well, James says, do we have confirmation? And shout out to the collector, who's obviously more in tune with this news than us. Says, James, they refunded people. I sold my hardcovers. They are mad with the writer. So they're mad with the writer. Who wrote those books?
James Tinian, I believe, wrote them.
Oh, maybe it's part of the thing that he went over to that other website.
Yeah, Substack. So
Substacks, yeah.
They're so mad at him they want to lose money for themselves. Okay, good decision, DC. If that is the reason why, that's pretty dumb.
I mean, you would think Batman outsells whatever writer's working on it, but okay.
And the Turtles. That's like the most popular indie property of all time. So it's just, okay, DC. If that's the reason why, I'm not saying that is, but that is, what a great decision from you guys yet again.
Oh, that's pretty awkward.
I'm not just sitting there like, I'm so glad I'm out.
You have no idea. There, at least once every week on Monday, I say the same thing to myself. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not dealing with this anymore. I just have to deal with Blu-rays and sneakers now.
Are Blu-rays a frustrating experience? They're usually pretty simple and easy.
Pretty simple. The
Steelbooks are hard, right?
Steelbooks can get challenging. The most frustrating thing is when you get a really bad transfer of a film that you're looking for, and you're just like, damn it! I was really hoping they did a better job with that. Inglourious Bastards, the 4K just came out of that, and the transfer isn't that good. So I was really disappointed in that because I love Tarantino and I love Inglourious Bastards, and not that great of a transfer.
Is it grainy?
Very grainy, but it's shot on film, so you would kind of expect it, but it's also just not a huge improvement over the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray is already a great disc. So,
right, there's so many things I just don't upgrade to 4K because it's just not worth it for me personally. There's some things I'll definitely get on 4K, but I don't always have to.
Right. Well, some of the issues that you're kind of running into right now with these new transfers is that they clean them up so much that it's very apparent they use the limitations of technology of the time to hide what they could with prosthetics and stuff like that. Because it was so grainy and it was such a low quality, they could get away with a lot of stuff. One of the best examples is the original Terminator film, where Arnold is looking in the mirror. It's very apparent. It's super apparent. It's a plastic face because now it's a really heightened up transfer.
It was pretty apparent on VHS as well.
Yeah.
But even more so, I'm guessing, in 4K.
Yeah.
How about this? Chris Original Recipe. Show us your Steelbook collection.
I have that packed up in a box somewhere around here, man.
It's coming soon, Chris. We'll work on that. But that's a good idea. That's a good maybe for the Wednesday show when we talk about movies and stuff.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Good pal Brikoski. I have a collection of 250 Blu-rays looking at VHS next. That is a huge rabbit hole, my dude. I can't go into that. Wanting to have VHS copies of your favorite films for aesthetic purposes, I don't know. That's a dangerous rabbit hole.
Yeah. I do miss those Disney clamshells, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
I miss the smell, the plastic smell as you open the clamshell. And then you open up like the Nickelodeon movies, it's the orange tape. Man, those are the days.
That. Yep.
Are you guys mostly digital with your movies and stuff like that? And music?
No. Music, yes. I just stream everything nowadays. But movies, no. I gotta have that on the shelf. It's like a bubble or a memory that I keep on the shelf. And if I want to relive it, I have it there physically.
Yeah.
And I just pop that disc in. Don't have to worry about streaming services. If there's no internet, I could just grab that disc and play it. I'm not collecting heavily these days, aside from like random Asian cinema and other stuff non-Hollywood related. But
Mhm.
I still enjoy the physical act of owning a Blu-ray disc or a DVD or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to buy a lot more than I do now because all the streaming services I have. Like I have like all of the DC animated movies for years. Then we found out HBO Max. I'm like, I'm not going to buy another one of those because now I have every single movie at my fingertips. I'm going to keep the old ones that I have. There's literally no reason for me to go back. So I'm very selective in the movies I get on Blu-ray or 4K at this point.
Yeah.
There are some that I like. I'll get all Denis Villeneuve's films on 4K because they look fantastic. I'm excited to see Dune in a couple weeks. There are some filmmakers you need to see their stuff in the best way possible.
Well, for me, the reason I don't go digital with films all the way, my fiance is all digital. She loves just being able to go through Netflix, and she thinks I'm a dinosaur for still collecting Blu-rays and physical media like that. But it's more of the compression issue for me because the sound they're getting close, but the sound in a lot of films is compressed compared to a disc because they have to stream it through a certain bit rate. And that just muffles it a little bit more versus if you have the disc, you get the full effect of what the director wanted in that.
Think YouTube. If you are a content creator and you upload a video, the original video that you put out is not the finished product is not going to look the same as the one you shot in your house. YouTube will compress everything. Same with Facebook when you upload pictures, and that happens also with the image quality. So
It happens with my Instagram.
It's super
reels.
convenient, but I don't know.
That happens with my reels on Instagram. It'll look really good, and I post it. I'm like, this looks like crap. What happened? Wasn't that kind of like the whole premise of Silicon Valley, the TV show? They had like a compression for songs to make them sound better or something and make them fit better. I can't remember.
I think
so maybe hopefully they can figure out that kind of stuff with digital movies better.
Sasmurf says, I don't update to 4K because soon they'll be updating to 8K on who knows what after that.
That is true. At least with comics and hardcovers, you might upgrade to better editions, but if you have the best, like an omnibus or an absolute, you at least have the best there's going to be.
That's true.
With movies and stuff, it's like I've upgraded DVDs to Blu-rays and the 4Ks for certain movies. And I don't think I can do it again. At some point, I'm going to have to stop.
I mean, especially the type of movies that we like to see upgraded. Like the Universal Monster movies just got the 4K release. Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
I want to get that, but at the same time, those movies are like 90 years old. I don't know how much clearer do you need them to be. I don't think if you do an 8K on that, are you just going to see the all the makeup and stuff from all the actors and the prosthetics? Like, I don't need to see that. It kind of loses a little bit of the magic of the cinema.
Yeah, it really does. The Mummy is a great example of that. The Mummy, fantastic movie. I love The Mummy. It's a great Brendan Fraser movie. It's a great Errol Flynn film. Whatever you want, it's just a great throwback film. It's fun all the way through. But Jesus Christ, some of those special effects have aged like milk.
Well, the second one definitely with the Rock and the Scorpion.
The Scorpion King.
That was even bad when it came out in 2002. I remember as a kid just being like, I love this movie, but it's rough. I don't know what happened here.
Yeah.
Kenny brings up a good point about the Terminator 2. That is getting an anniversary release in a couple weeks, but it turned out everybody was pissed off because it turns out it's the same 4K release previously that everybody hated. It's just repackaged for the anniversary, and people were upset.
Is it really? Because I thought I heard that Cameron oversaw this transfer.
From what I read online on the Blu-ray.com forums, it looks like it's the same. It's a previous release, just repackaged for the anniversary. I don't know.
He's too busy making Avatar 2 through 100.
Oh my god!
I don't know why. I don't know who's asking for these movies or why they're making so many. I don't know who the audience for this.
My fiance. My fiance. It's her favorite film of all time.
It's just like it's been 12 years, man. Like, where's the second one?
There is a very dedicated still following, because if you go to Avatar Land at Disney World, people love that shit.
It's a great visual movie, but like, do people really love the characters? Like, do people really think the characters were like so lovable they want to keep diving into that? I mean, I thought it was a great visual achievement. It was just a ripoff of Pocahontas. And it was like, okay, I watched it once. I watched it once in 3D, and it was great. I had a fun time, and don't think I'm ever going to return to it. But
Well, this is. I am a strong proponent of doing practical, and then you touch it up with CGI because typically that stuff tends to age a lot better than the CGI stuff. Like if you look at Avatar now, that shit is dated. It looks rough compared to what we have today.
Even
But if
Lord of
you
the
look
Rings looks so much better than a lot of the movies of the day because it was
right,
more practical. The
right,
Hobbit looked terrible when it came out, and it looks even worse now because
yeah,
they went totally against that trend.
right. And if you look at The Thing, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, that shit still holds up. The Thing looks still amazing, and it was in the 1970s.
Oh yeah.
I think it was
Fargate, that's true. Pocahontas and Dances with the Wolves. So they took stuff from both movies. Avatar.
It's just crazy they're doing so many different sequels at once, and there hasn't been a movie in 12 years. It's just
yeah.
Taylor, you need to buy those Batman art prints tomorrow at 12. B Bottleneck Gallery.
I would love to. I just don't have enough room for posters. I still have my friend as a gift got me a huge poster size cut of all of these different Batman animated series trading cards from the 90s. It's pretty much a one of a kind. Yeah. And I still need to frame it and hang it up. I just don't have room for other stuff. I might have to take down the Breaking Bad poster, which is really sad.
You can always rotate them. Yeah,
that's true. I might have to do that. It's a good idea.
Avatar equals Dances with Smurfs. That's true. Streaming still seems to be inconsistent as far as quality is concerned in certain areas of the country. Plus, if your internet is poor, this is key here, you will have a muffled sound and you're in Pixel City. That's true. Not everybody has good internet. You could argue that everybody has bad internet. Where is Jess? He's on an assignment, Lionheart. I told him to record some information. He sent us back some pictures that I cannot share with you guys. So he's doing awesome work. You'll find out next Thursday what that was.
And he sent me in his stead. I know I can never replace Jess, but we can have just a special relationship together. I don't want to replace him. I know I can never do that, but we can still have a special bond together as a guest host and a chat.
Blade Runner, the original from '82, is a great visual film, but the story is hard to follow.
The sequel is much better, in my opinion, in almost every way, just in terms of connecting with the characters. Even the score, I think, is better. People might really hate me for saying that. I just think it's a superior film on every level. And I love the original.
I have to admit, I have not seen the sequel yet.
Oh, it's great. That's a good 4K to watch.
The original is my favorite sci-fi film of all time. I love the original Blade Runner. The final cut, that's the edition that I prefer to watch.
There is no cut, just a final cut.
I love the
final cut.
I love the voiceover cut, Lou. That's a masterpiece. Harrison Ford said he acted bored on purpose because he was so mad they made him do it.
Oh God, it's such a fucking.
And if Harrison Ford wants to be bored, man, he can act bored and really pissy about stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, just watch the final cut. That's the only cut that you need to watch for the original Blade Runner. 2049 is that rare sequel. Denis Villeneuve, man, he's the guy that's, I don't know how he does it almost every single time, but 2049 should have not worked because it's a film that came out, Jesus, like 40 years? Am I right, Taylor? Like 40 years?
1982 to 2017, I think.
So 35 years? My math is horrible.
Math is not our strong suit. Sorry.
No, it's not.
You're the teacher here, Lou. I have to depend on you for that.
I'm not a good teacher. I'm a teacher. So it should not have worked, but he captures what made the first one so special and adds to the mythos while leaving things open enough that if ever anybody wants to come back and revisit this universe, they have a story that they can do. And it's so fucking good. It is such a fucking good movie. Mm-hmm. And then the cinematography. Oh my God. Like every frame of that film, I want to just hang up on my wall.
That's true.
God.
What is Rad? Is Rad getting upgraded? What is that?
I'm not sure about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Can you let us know, Doc Collector?
I finally watched No Man's Land by Charlie Sheen. I didn't realize Fast and Furious completely ripped it off. Interesting.
I haven't seen Fast 9 yet. Did they actually go to space in that movie? I can't remember.
The
previews.
Fast
I
9.
gave up. I've kind of I liked a bunch of them. I've kind of given up after like the 7th one, I think.
You know what? I was all on board. I hanged up my white undershirt and my cross after that movie was done because I'm done with the series. I jumped off. It
But
was
what if you hear the 10th one is the best one? Will you jump back in and be with your family?
maybe, but sometimes you have to leave your family because they're wrong. And
You had to leave your family to
Lou, you're
appreciate
getting
the
married
family.
and you're having a new family. That movie could just
Oh my
really take on a
God.
new meaning for you right now in this stage of life. You can't abandon your family, man. What's your family gonna think if you abandon your film family?
It was so bad, man. I am a diehard. I was with them through all the movies, through Hobbs and Shaw, which I actually thought was really fun. This last one was horrible, just absolutely horrible.
Yeah. How do you
I know
feel
it
about
was.
Blade Runner Black Lotus anime coming out next month?
It doesn't
If
exist.
that is the CGI one, I don't care for it at all. I'm not
Doesn't
going to see
exist.
it.
Is that like
Nope.
a video game? Is like a video game coming out, or is it anime?
It's a collab with Adult Swim, Crunchyroll, Shinichiro Watanabe, and a bunch of people. But it's in this weird cell shaded CGI thing. I'm not a fan. I immediately got turned off. I'm like, no. You can enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not gonna watch it.
2049 Blu-ray has some good like shorts, like some animated shorts
Mhm.
and some live action shorts that really kind of fill out the background of the story.
Yeah.
I typically don't like that kind of stuff that much, but I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah, there's one involving Dave Bautista, which is a good prequel with his character. There's one where you could figure out what the blackout event was.
Right.
For those of you that have never seen 2049, the blackout was basically when they wipe out the servers of basically the world, and everybody just goes dark for a period of time.
There you go. No love for the Running Man. It's good. Not my favorite thing, but it's good.
Not the best Schwarzenegger, but not
Yeah.
bad either.
It's not bad.
What is your guys' favorite Schwarzenegger movie? If you had to only pick one,
That's
watch.
easy. That's easy. Predator.
I would say T2 would be my
Predator's
favorite.
good.
T2 is the quintessential action movie, but Predator is emblematic in this household, and it's the same age as me, so that counts for something.
And you have that manly high five, that manly arm shake, basically.
Hell yeah.
The most masculine, sweaty thing you'll ever see on screen.
I'm gonna go True Lies.
That is a really,
Ooh.
I think that's probably one of the best Schwarzenegger performances.
Yeah,
I definitely top 3.
and it still pushes me off because Cameron's off jerking around doing Avatar movies, and we still haven't gotten even a Blu-ray version of True Lies. It's stuck
That's
in
really-
DVD hell.
You don't have a
It's
Blu-ray.
yet.
It's only on DVD.
Gosh. That's terrible.
Jingle All the Way, Terminator 1 and 2.
True Lies has some of
Anything-
the best like practical effects, some of the best practical actual action scenes you'll
So
see
much
in
fun.
movies.
So much fun.
No Love for Twins.
They're making Twins 2 right now.
No, they're not.
Are you
Yeah.
acting like it doesn't exist?
It doesn't exist.
But Danny DeVito's in his prime right now, man. And It's Always Sunny.
That's also true. Yeah.
He just
That
wants to
is
do
true.
whatever is fun. He'll do whatever anyone asks him to do on screen. I don't think he's ever said no to anything they've wanted him to do. Like remember that season where Mac got fat?
I love that.
He wanted all of them to get fat, and all of them said no, but Danny DeVito said yes. And he's like, I really don't want to kill Danny DeVito, so I'll just do it myself. He'll literally do anything.
I love that season. He sticks the diabetic needle.
Commando does have some of the best Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners. When he throws the steam pipe
Yeah.
into the guy, and he goes, "Let off some steam, Bennett."
Remember
One
when
of the
I said
best
it?
one-liners.
Remember when I said I'd kill you last? I lied.
The Total Recall has the best one-liner of all time. When his fake wife is begging him, she goes, "We're married," and he shoots her. Consider that a divorce. Best one-liner in action movie history.
Yep.
I challenge any of you to come up with a better line than that.
Did you know he wrote Punch Up for that Batman Forever movie?
Well, it shows, man.
Yeah, his one-liners, he was the one that did them.
I loved that movie in 1997 when I was 7 years old.
You know, I still have a soft spot for it. I don't think it's as terrible as most people think. Batman and Robin is horrible, but I don't think Batman Forever is.
Well, Batman and
Terrible.
Robin's the one with Schwarzenegger. Batman Forever is the one with
That's
Jim Carrey and
Val Kilmer.
Tommy Lee
Val
Jones.
Kilmer. Okay, the Val Kilmer one is not bad.
No, it's decent. You can enjoy it, and it has enough cheese where you don't mind it. Whereas Batman and Robin, that's just a train wreck from the get go.
It's hard to argue with that.
Poor Joel Schumacher. If you listen to the commentary, he genuinely apologized on the commentary about making that movie.
You can just tell the whole time that George Clooney doesn't want to be there. The entire time. He's just like, what am I doing here? I have no idea what's going on.
Before we continue with the Movie Bros Live from the chat, let me do real quick some DC previews while we're at it. Kind of spice things up. Let's do DC stuff. Not a whole lot. That's why I'm I'm doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
But this week we are getting the deluxe edition of Batman Arkham Asylum. If you guys are interested in that,
The 20th edition of this book.
Yeah. Is this the remaining format? Because it has a trade paperback. It has an absolute.
It's had deluxe editions before, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's had a bunch of different. It's pretty much like Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns, Year One. It pretty much gets every single edition imaginable.
Yep.
Instead of publishing things we've never had before, let's just keep publishing Arkham Asylum over
I
and
am
over.
waiting for the Pocket Bible version of this because you know it's coming pretty soon.
The Marvel Digest sized, where
There
it's
you
like
go.
close to manga size. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
these things have to be selling for them to keep making them, so I can't really blame DC
Yeah.
for printing what they think is going to sell. So
Fun fact: I thought the story was overrated. Didn't see what the hype was when I read it.
It takes a while to get used to, especially
Yeah.
with the art.
Yeah.
honestly.
Dave McKean, he said he refused to draw Robin. So that's why in the book, Robin's wearing a trench coat the entire time. So he refused to draw the costume. But they both made bank on this book. They both made $1 off of each graphic novel that was sold, and 100,000 copies were sold. So they both made $100,000. And Grant Morrison used that money to travel the world and do as many drugs as he could,
Good man.
and experience a lot of different things.
Death Rattle says Batman is in every DC new releases. Ridiculous. Oh, you're gonna see some Batman. Don't worry. I got you, Death Rattle.
Yeah, is there a week of DC with no Batman books? I don't think so.
No, look at this. This first page is all Batman.
I am excited about Batman 89 when it is collected eventually. I do want to give that a try, and Superman 78.
Oh
But
yeah.
obviously
Those
waiting
are
until
cool.
the hardcovers come out next year.
Mm-hmm. Here we have more Batman, including the Long Halloween Deluxe Edition.
we've never had
hardcover.
that before. That's awesome.
Oh my god, dude.
Innovating. So now you can own the classic story in Deluxe Edition hardcover. More Batman, followed by this week's high-profile release, which is interesting because this is not the actual cover. The actual cover is terrible.
It makes no sense. They have so much J.H. Williams awesome covers, and they pick the one with a boot coming at the cover that looks terrible.
Let me look for the photo just in
Wait,
case.
that's not the cover?
No. Lou, you're not going to believe the cover they chose instead of this one. That looks gorgeous.
J.H. Williams is an amazing artist.
Well,
it wasn't even a J.H. Williams cover, I don't think, that they used. Or if it was, it would definitely.
I think it was, but from the issue 0 from the New 52.
It wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't like one of his best works that they chose.
The hell am I doing? Sorry, my bad. Oh, here it is.
I'm just happy. Yeah, there it is.
The hell?
That's the cover
Wow.
that they used for the Batwoman Omnibus with the edgy font with the creators.
And Greg Rucka's not even first, and he created the character. That makes no sense. He came up with the character with a couple other people in 52. What the heck? He should be number 1.
This, to me, seems, when I see that font, it looks like a custom omnibus that somebody made up.
I'm just glad it's finally coming out at least, because it's been a year and a half of it being delayed and it being canceled. And the good thing is, on my shelf, I'm just going to see the spine. I'm rarely going to see the cover. So it's really not that big of a deal. And there's always you can do a custom cover if you want to, which is annoying, but you can still do it if it really bothers you that much. I'm just surprised there's no variant cover for this. I guess DC doesn't really do that very much, though.
I'm still saying they should make a system where you like a website where you buy official dust jackets from both Marvel and DC, and you can If you don't like the dust jacket, you can get a custom one with their official artwork. They're missing money. They're dropping the ball on that, and I think that would sell really well.
Would you? Okay, here's a question. Would you pony up? Let's say, so we're taking the video game logic, right? Like microtransactions. Let's say, and I think you guys know where I'm going with this. There's a cover for let's say this book. There's a cover, you friggin' hate it, but you can pay $5 through DC, and they'll mail you a deluxe cover or a totally different cover. Would you guys bite?
It would depend on how much I hated the cover.
Yeah, depends on how much I hate the cover, and depends on how much I love the book or the character.
Okay.
Like, for example, if it were the Peter David Aquaman omnibus, because whenever that happens, and if they do a crappy cover, yeah, I would consider it if it's cheap, because I'm not going to spend like $15 on a freaking dust jacket. It's got to be like $5 or $10 or something. I don't know.
Oh, you know they charge you about $15 to $20 on it.
That's the thing. Again, I'm not going to be seeing it that often if it's on my shelf. I'll see it whenever I pull it off the shelf and I read it. But I care a lot about how the spines look on my books, because that's when I see the most. So whenever I look over at my DC Rebirth books, I get really mad when I see the black spines of the Tom King Batman stuff that look terrible and they really stand out. So that's what really bugs me the most, is spine problems.
Right. I mean, if Marvel really wanted to be cheap, and they could just do, okay, well, these are the new, you know how the font changed on the side or whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you want the original one with a different cover, this is $15 if they wanted to go that route.
They could do it. Rose Gray says, yes, I'd pay for dust covers. Omar said Long Halloween Deluxe was without dust jackets. Interesting.
Yeah, it kind of look almost like an image hardcover to a certain extent.
Which I would welcome that too. We don't really need dust jackets for everything, but that's just me.
Well, like the Earth 1 books are all hardcovers without dust jackets.
Yeah.
And the Injustice hardcovers too.
Sasmurf, he got the alternate dust jacket for the McFarlane Omnibus from his LCS last week. Looks sweet.
Lou, what were your biggest collecting pet peeves or collected editions pet peeves back when you actually bought this stuff? Stuff that really made you mad whenever you got a book in, or just things that me and Gio are getting mad about this cover. Like, what's something that made you mad?
Yeah,
dude, the biggest pet peeve I had was DC's binding for a while, because a lot of you guys that are new to this hobby don't realize how bad DC's binding used to be. That thing was like a bear trap. It was horrible to crack open one of those books, and it would not give. That was one of them.
Yeah, the Hawkman Omnibus is notorious for that.
It was terrible. The Hawkman Omnibus was horrible. Really bad recoloring, or where they take the original artist intent and they color over it, and they do just a terrible job. I know the Neil Adams Omnibus is probably notorious for the recoloring job that he did on it, and he approves it. He loves the recoloring on it. I think it looks friggin' terrible.
Neil Adams is not to be trusted at this point in his life.
No, because he's paying $90. Yeah, he's paying $90 for you to take a photo with him and sign books or however much.
He believes the earth is hollow. He can't be trusted.
What? Huh?
He believes he has Batman Odysseys all about his hollow earth beliefs. You gotta look into this, Lou. It's quite the trip.
You can't do this to me, man. Because
this is pretty wild.
Yeah.
I've heard him on podcasts talking about the hollow earth theory. It's not just him. It's kind of like the flat earth people. There's a big community of hollow earth people.
Oh my god.
And I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody in the chat. I really hope I'm not. But
no, they deserve to be offended because that's dumb. So if you believe that, I'm sorry.
It's kind of like, you remember back in the 90s that chocolate orb you could buy with the toy inside at Toys R Us?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's the earth. In a way.
Oh, spoonful of Brody. Neil has fans all over the hollow globe. Rick has a great comment here. Dust jackets should be reversible. That'd be great too. Like Blu-rays with the reversible artwork.
I think we have had that before to some degree, haven't we? I'm trying to think of, there is a book, I can't think of what it is specifically. Someone in the chat, remind me. There is a book where it's reversible. Man, I can't remember what it is. That is a good idea.
Yep.
Another terrible one. I hate the Swamp Thing recolor that they've done. I hate what they've done in those absolute editions.
The only recoloring I really enjoyed was Year One by David Mazzucchelli. And I'm not saying the original was bad. I like the original too, but it was at least an updated recoloring that was still really good and it modernized the book a little bit more. And it was done by him. And I know the Year One Absolute Edition is controversial because it's so expensive for what you get, but you get 2 volumes. You get the original coloring with the newspaper print and the new recoloring with glossy paper. So you at least get both in one package.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the Walter Simonson recolor for Thor?
I don't have it, so I can't speak to it.
I thought they did a good job. I really liked it in that one.
Sandman was recolored, but I think they did a good job with Sandman.
They did,
honestly, in my opinion, compared to Swamp Thing.
Yeah, the absolute editions of that Sandman book where they did the recoloring on it are gorgeous.
Yeah. So aside from the Batwoman omnibus,
Is Deathstroke next week or is Deathstroke this week?
It says it's coming out this week. I thought it was next week. I'm confused. If it is this week, then hooray for you guys! Deathstroke by Christopher Priest omnibus, and that's not the cover. The cover is this one, which is really cool.
That's a really thick Omni, by the way, 1,500 pages. That might be one of their biggest ones yet, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Check this out. It has, where was it? All this stuff. 50 issues of Deathstroke, including the rebirth and one-shots of all this other crap. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but the art was pretty cool. I read like 2 trades of Deathstroke. It wasn't really for me, but it's really action-packed. And if you're a Christopher Priest fan, you're going to enjoy it.
Is it typical Priest where it's kind of back and forth with flashbacks and it's pretty like complex and convoluted?
At the first story arc, if I remember correctly, it does go back and forth a little bit.
He loves to do that.
Yeah, and I like Deathstroke, but I'm not the biggest fan to read a whole series on him. So I like him more when he guest stars on other books as the villain or antagonist. But I don't know, it's a pass for me. But it's pretty cool that we're getting another Deathstroke omnibus, because you might remember we had the New 52 one, which was not that great.
But DC will make every omnibus of every New 52 book. We've learned that the hard way.
We are also getting Flash trade paperback volume 15. I think this may be the last one from Joshua Williamson, volume 15, The Finish Line. This is his rebirth and his rebirth run. I think it's the final one. I might be wrong on that. Let me know, chat.
I have a lot of trades to buy of that because they stopped making the hardcovers. I gotta start getting on that because I really do enjoy his run.
Yeah,
I've heard nothing but good things. I need to check that out.
Joshua Williamson's almost always great.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where he's a worker, and I just don't think he's gotten the recognition he deserves, because the stuff he's put out that I've read is all really quality stuff. Like I loved his Ghosted book, Birthright. I really enjoyed that. Everything that I've read so far of him, I think he's a solid writer. It's just I don't think he's just hit yet with that book.
Well, he's the next Batman writer, isn't he? I believe.
I have no idea. I think so.
Can anyone correct me in the chat if I'm wrong? I think he's next up after James Tynion's leaving.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. I really Tynion is so hit and miss with me. Like, I don't like his Batman run. The Punchline is horrible. That book, the conspiracy book that I can't remember the name of it now.
Truth Department.
I think it's terrible. At least the first 4 issues that I read, I did not care for. But then he's also writing Something Is Killing the Children, which is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm excited for that hardcover to come out next week.
Cleveland Brown is still waiting for Red Hood and the Outlaws Volume 2 New 52 run omnibus. Good for you, Cleveland Brown. I like that you enjoyed that.
Wait, there needs to be a Volume 2 of that? That wasn't the whole entire run in that first omnibus?
No. Yeah, there's enough material for Volume 2.
I don't think that's coming, dude. That's been like 3 or 4 years, hasn't it?
I think so. Next, imagine on any clue how his Deathstroke run compares to Wolfman. It, from what I remember, because I didn't read all of it, and I do apologize. Again, if you like it, that's awesome. I thought it was kind of super gritty for the character, which is in line for Deathstroke. I get it. And he does tackle some controversial topics for the history of the character. I'd rather read Marv Wolfman's run, honestly, compared to Priest. I wasn't the biggest fan of what I was reading, so I dropped it. The Rebirth stuff. This is also coming out, guys. Inferior 5 from a bunch of people right here. Keith Giffen, Jeff Lemire, etc., etc.
Haven't heard of it.
Back. And am I missing anything? I don't think. This one, which Jess is a huge fan of. I know he's going to buy this. Machine Gun Kelly's Hotel Diablo.
Wait, does Machine Gun Kelly write this?
Yes, the Machine Gun Kelly that you're thinking of.
We need to review this and read it.
I have a hard time imagining this book existing.
Why
is Jess loving a Machine Gun Kelly book?
You know what?
I feel like we're in an alternate universe right now. I'm gonna text Jess if the show is over and say, "Can you confirm that you love Machine Gun Kelly?" Because I have to know. Were you really involved in his big dispute with Ja Rule at the most recent awards?
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean, he's not here to defend himself, so, and the chat agrees that Jess is a huge Machine Gun Kelly fan.
Does anybody want to bite the bullet and read this for a review for
that
next
was a
week?
good pun, Lou, by the way.
Thank
The
you.
bullet for this Machine Gun Kelly book.
Thank you.
MJK is Jess's favorite punk artist. There you go. Spoonful of Brody.
Okay, I'm texting Jess immediately. I'm texting Jess right now to get to the bottom of this. So excuse me for a second.
Yeah,
Anybody?
say, like, the chat is saying you like Machine Gun Kelly and his new book. Is this true?
You know
Marcelo
what?
says he gets Megan Fox and a comic book.
You know what? I have the Spider-Man book as the worst book I've read this year, but damn it, I think I might give this a shot this week and see if it tops it.
Yeah. Let's see if Jess is on board, and we can do a video on a Thursday reviewing.
I just texted him, so I'll let you know what he says.
So that atrocity is coming out. Oh, look at this dark side cover. That's cool.
God.
Anyway, any other collected editions? No.
The Golden Kirkman this year might be a two-way tie. We'll see.
Probably.
Do you guys still do that every year? The Kirkmans?
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't remember.
Okay, so that's from DC. While I get the previews, did anybody haul anything by any chance?
Well, since Jess isn't here, I thought I'd show off my haul from 2 weeks ago. Since I'm never on the show, might as well show it.
Yeah,
so I got some books and some other stuff, and this is some of my reads too, so I can cover some of that at the same time. I got The Last God by Philip Kennedy Johnson. This is a fantastic book if you love epic fantasy. Lou, I know you like the Stormlight Archive. I think you'd love this.
Yes, I do.
It's really good. The inside is a really cool map. And actually, the whole dust jacket opens up into this massive map. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
And so it usually takes me like 4 or 5 days to read a novel if I'm focusing on it. This book took me 4 or 5 days just to complete it. I was giving it my full attention. It's very dense. There's a lot of interludes, a lot of important lore and mythology and histories in between the issues that you have to read. Okay. I would say ignore them at your own peril. It really fills in the world and helps you understand what's going on a little bit. Me and Jess interviewed Philip Kennedy Johnson a couple of weeks ago, and he's a musician. He actually writes songs and actually created these songs whole cloth. And actually puts the music in and everything.
That's amazing.
Which is really, I mean, if you're an epic fantasy fan, you know how important music can be to these books. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. He said he spent a month just world building. And that's a lot of time to spend on that, not doing anything else.
So will there be a sequel to that, or is it a one and done story?
It is book 1, and he's hoping to return to it sometime soon. I think it's going to be different characters, or it's going to be somewhat of a different story. He wants to do stories within the same world. Oh. So it did really well, and this hardcover is selling really well, so I'm sure they'll come back. I just finished this today, the latest Hellboy hardcover, Hellboy Universe.
Nice.
That collects The Visitor, Rasputin, and Sledgehammer 44. If I'm not incorrect, Sledgehammer 44 was really out of print for a very long time. If you wanted that, definitely pick this up. I think The Visitor was actually my favorite story of the bunch. Lou, do you remember this?
The Visitor is yes, The Visitor is about an alien
That's a fun
that
one.
shows up, and it's actually a callback to one of the very first Hellboy issues, where just out of context, like a panel cuts, and you just see space aliens talking to each other. But this is so canonically, this takes place kind of all over the place in terms of the Hellboy universe and the timeline, but all of those books that you just listed off for the final arc, all that stuff comes back and plays into a huge event in the final arc.
Right. So that really enjoyed all those stories. Like Visitor was definitely my favorite. And I think it kind of fills in the gaps. Wasn't it for Conqueror Wormloo that we saw the alien?
I think so.
Yes, I believe you are correct. Yes.
And that was a really, really cool story. This is pretty much out of print, so I wanted to pick it up. And this is Conan by Kurt Busiek.
Ooh.
This Omni is really, really nice. I'm excited to read it. I love almost everything Kurt Busiek has written that I've read. I love Marvels. I love Superman Secret Identity. I think he definitely gets superheroes a lot, so I'm excited to see him do something else. I really, really enjoyed the Jason Aaron Conan series, and I'm excited about King Conan, so I wanted to dive in a little bit more. I just don't have the time or the money to buy all the Omnis that I've ever done. Conan. So I'm just sticking to modern day Conan because I cannot get all the old stuff. Sorry, all you Conan fans.
Yeah, you're good.
I cannot do it.
Don't worry about it. You're good.
I also just picked up this omnibus, which is really popular right now, and that's Rick Remender's Captain America.
Cool.
Excited about this. I've never read it before, but Rick Remender's almost a hit for me every single time.
Yeah.
I heard different things about it. It sounds like you either love it or you hate it. That seems to be the consensus.
That was a time period where Remender was starting to get burned out with the big two in terms of creativity and stuff like that. So I can understand, because I think he left that book. He didn't finish that book. I think he left it unfinished, and then somebody came over and took the writing duties of it.
I'm not sure. I haven't read it yet. I'll have to double check on that.
Yeah, but that was the book, if I remember correctly, that drove him away from the big two. That after that, he was like, I'm not fucking ever working for the big two again.
And my last thing I got is an upgrade. I had this in paperback, but I had to upgrade to the absolute before it sells out, and that's All-Star Superman, which I know Lou you're a big fan of. It's a library edition I have to have because it's one of my favorite Superman stories. So I'm really excited to dive back into that yet again. I remember reading it for the first time because you talked about it a lot, Lou, a couple years ago.
Yes, so, it's a classic. It's perfect.
And the last things I got for my birthday, I got some Lego sets, actually. My first Lego set since I was a little kid. I asked for this Lego set. I asked for the Seinfeld set because I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. This is the one Lego that brought me out of retirement. Getting Legos. I had to have it. And I thought it was going to be really easy, but apparently it takes 4 hours to build. So I'm going to sink some time into this. But I also got this one without asking for it. I got the 1966 Batmobile.
Ooh, cool.
This one looks a lot easier. And Jess actually has both of these, so we're going to try to build them together and help each other out and encourage each other to actually do it because we'll put it off and not do it, and we have to do it. So that's what I hauled over the past couple of weeks.
I keep telling him to stream it, but he doesn't want to do it.
We talked about it. We might stream the Batman 66 Batmobile because it's really small and it's easy. The Seinfeld one would take a long time, but maybe we'll do it.
Yep. Brian Bruger. Tyler is the Taylor post-2 version of death. That's a meta-ish joke. I like it. Mm-hmm. Wish Marvel would just reprint Colossal Conan, Sumerian, King Conan as Marvel Omnis. That'd be cool, but I don't think they would do it.
Yeah.
It was just they would do new editions, new branding, new names, new everything.
That Colossal Conan, you could kill somebody with that book.
I think the heaviest Omnis to this day. Maybe, I don't know.
There's that. There's Sin City. I think Deathstroke might be one of the top 10, top 5.
Yeah.
Invisibles.
Blackest Night. I only got one thing, and it's from a good friend of mine, Josh. He gifted me his copies of Lady Snowblood, the original manga. So these are all out of print and quite pricey. I don't think I'm not too sure if they're hard to find or not online.
Kill Bill.
Yeah. So if you know your movies, you know that Tarantino was heavily inspired by Lady Snowblood to create Kill Bill. and I have to be careful with what I show here. But the art, nope, nope, nope. Can I show this? Because it's a tale of revenge and samurai and action and sexy times, and there's a little bit of everything here. But the art is awesome. And
Is it kind of the art style they used for the anime section of Kill Bill Volume 1 at all?
No, no. That
Okay.
one, I think that one was. I can't remember who did the animation on that. I'll look it up. But this one is a little bit nicer looking, in my opinion. This is classic 80s or 70s manga action. And I'm really excited about that. I've never read the original story. I've only seen the movie, which I own, the live action movie. There's volume 2. Here's volume 3 right there. Snowblood and volume 4. So it's just 4 volumes. And yeah, you can see some of the art right there. So if you are interested in picking this up, you're going to have to look. What is this? I can show this. Yeah. You're going to have to look through eBay and stuff like that.
The only page you can show is the one with no human beings on it.
It's just a lot of the pages
objects on the page.
Here's an action-packed one right there. It's just a lot of the ones I keep turning to have some not safe for work content, and I don't want to risk it on this channel. But you can sort of get a feel for the art. Yes, next Imagine I do have that Blu-ray. That was one of the first Criterion Blu-rays that I purchased. The Lady Snowblood movies.
I am still waiting for Tarantino to release his all-in-one cut of the first of the Kill Bill films, because it does exist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he has screened it before, but he's never put it out publicly.
Yep. I have not upgraded my DVDs because of that. I keep hoping like one day we'll get that cut.
I think he wants to do the whole bloody affair. I think it was going to be called.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you speak with Ryan, one of our friends, one of our he apparently has the cut. He has seen it.
Ryan
Really?
says.
Ryan says he has seen it. He has it.
I'm guessing through dubious channels he got that.
Yes, that would be correct. But he has seen it, and it does exist. And I think Tarantino owns a theater or something like that, but he has screened it very limitedly.
Yeah, the New Beverly in L.A.
Right, and it's a very, whenever he feels like it, he'll screen it.
They would definitely make money off of that. I'm surprised they haven't released that as a 4K or something.
I would love it. I would love to have the whole thing. What I think it's like 4 hours or 5 hours is the whole
like
bloody
that.
affair. I
would definitely wait like Geo is. I think they're definitely going to do it at some point.
Maybe for an anniversary or something.
Yeah, when did the first one come out? 2003, I think.
I think so.
2004.
I think so.
So we're coming up to 20 years in a couple of years.
2003.
Yeah, there's always been talk of Tarantino has always mentioned maybe coming back to it and revisiting that universe.
That's not going to be his last film, though. I think he kind of confirmed that.
He's
taking a long time until his last film. I think it's going to be at least 4 years until we get his last film.
Yeah. Well, the thought has always been the Viper's daughter would be the one that would come back after Beatrix.
Right. I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood it almost seems like it would be his last film. I think he even said that's kind of like his climax of his career, and the 10th film will be his coda, kind of like his epilogue.
Yeah,
that was like his epic, like his biggest. Just in terms of its ambition, I think it's the best movie of his latter career. I love that movie, and I just think it's so emblematic of his entire career. So it's hard to imagine what his last film is going to be.
Well, he wrote Star Trek. He has a Star Trek script that he's written.
I don't want that to be his last movie, though. To be Star Trek. If he does, make an exception. Have there be an 11th movie. I don't want I want to see his Star Trek movie, but not if it's his last movie.
Maybe as a producer.
I don't think it's ever going to get made, though. An R-rated Star Trek. I mean, unless they're going to make it a PG-13 version, it's hard to imagine Quentin Tarantino in a PG-13 movie or setting.
It won't happen.
Lou, did you haul anything by any chance? Probably not.
No. No, I didn't haul it. They just plain Metroid.
I think that's a cool haul. It's digital, I get it.
Mm.
Don't rub it in Don't rub it on Geo's face too bad.
No.
You'll get it
No.
eventually, Geo, and you'll enjoy it.
Let me track it while I'm here on live. Whatever. Let's do this. Set myself up for disappointment. Before we go on with the rest of previews.
Whenever Lou finishes it, you'll be starting it, and he'll be sad that it's over, and you'll be happy that you're starting it. It's like this. Whenever the food comes early for someone at the table, let the people enjoy their food who get it. Once I get my food, they'll be looking at me and be like, man, I wish I was still eating this great food. So that's how I view it.
Oh, let's see. How do I do this? I ordered it through GameStop. Let's see.
You know, I almost bit the bullet on a Switch OLED the other day. I had the chance, and I was this close from pulling the trigger on it. Then I was like, what am I, stupid? I have an OLED TV. It's just not worth the upgrade for me.
No. Only if you're going to do a lot of handheld playing.
Yeah.
Track package. No, it's going to take a while, guys.
Has it even shipped yet? Has it even shipped yet?
No, it shipped, but
good.
Once it hits Jacksonville, Florida, then it's stuck for a couple days, and then it takes like a week for it to arrive.
While the employees of the warehouse play it and finish it, and then they send it.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm excited because I did get the deluxe edition, or the collector's edition, whatever.
What does that include? Is it just a cooler case, or is it something else?
It's a big box. It's a big box, and it has an art book inside. I don't know if it's soft cover or hard cover. Some art cards, a steel book, and something else. I mostly got it for the art book because I really don't care about steel books for games or the art cards or whatever. I just wanted the art because we rarely get that stuff for Metroid. It's always Zelda and Mario always get the love when it comes to deluxe editions. Okay, let's go over here and share some previews with you guys. We already did DC, so this is part 2 of previews, all the stuff that's coming out. I do believe Marvel only has one release, and that's because they're still doing the whole move to what's it called? Penguin
Random House?
Random House, there we go.
It sounds like it's going to be a really rough transition, everybody, so buckle your seatbelts.
Yeah. From my understanding, October's going to suck when it comes to Marvel books, but in November, it's going to hit your wallet extremely hard, so you're going to have a fun time with that.
Well, apparently Penguin's packaging is horrible, and a lot of the books get damaged, so there's probably going to be a lot of issues from retailers in the next month or two as this transition happens. So just to warn you, not saying it's definitely going to happen, just saying be prepared. And Lou's like... I'm so glad I'm out. You're like the opposite of Al Pacino in Godfather Part 3. They couldn't pull you back in.
So here are some of the books coming out from Image Comics. We got Helm Grey Castle Volume 1, or Book 1. Jules Verne Lighthouse, trade paperback.
Finally. I'm a shake. I have no idea what that is.
This is... the adaptation of the Jules Verne classic. Yep. If you like Lighthouse and you want to see a comic adaptation, there you go. Dark Horse has a couple cool releases, including Avatar, Last Airbender, Smoke and Shadow Omnibus.
Do you get those, Gio?
I've never watched a single episode of Avatar in my life.
I'm stunned. Dude, I feel like I feel like you would be the biggest fan of Avatar.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe I guess I
have
things.
I have so much stuff to watch that it's very low on my priority list or my queue list of shows. But eventually one day I'll watch it. I have family members that are upset that I don't watch it. I have friends that are upset that I don't watch it. So eventually I'll pull the trigger and sit down and enjoy it because it looks cool.
It's okay. It's not as bad as Lou abandoning his family. In the Fast and Furious universe. At least you're not abandoning your family.
So we were talking about library editions. Here is Black Hammer Visions hardcover, volume 1.
That's not a library edition though, right?
That's not a library edition.
Okay,
but
so I'm
it
gonna
is a
wait. I'm
hardcover.
gonna wait for this then because I'm sure there'll be a library edition at some point.
So this has a bunch of creators writing stories within the Black Hammer universe. So think like the Hellboy book that you showed earlier with the all the different mini stories. You get something like this for the Black Hammer universe, written by Patton Oswalt, Jeff Johns, Moriko Tamakis, Scott Snyder, Chip Zdarsky, etc., etc. Dead Dog's Bite hardcover.
I've heard it's a
No
really
idea.
great crime book. It's drawn by Tyler Boss, who does a lot of stuff with Matthew Rosenberg, I think.
Yeah,
So I'm really excited. I'm probably gonna check it out on Hoopla first. I'm
this
not
is
gonna blind
probably
buy
right
it.
up your alley. Yeah.
It sounds like it. I'm gonna read on Hoopla before I blind buy it, and if I really like it, I'll
Yeah.
pick it up.
We also have Nexus Newspaper Strips Volume 1, Gormando. I think that's how you say it. Probably not. Overwatch Tracer London Calling. So this was a mini series written by Mariko Tamaki with art by Babs Tarr.
Oh wow, that's a good team.
I only read one of the issues. It's only 5 issues, and it's fun. It's nothing groundbreaking or anything, but if you're a fan of Overwatch, you're gonna like it. And if you're a fan of Tracer, obviously.
Are you still deep into the Overwatch game, Gio, or are you kind of stepped away from it for now?
I stepped away for a while because I'm waiting to see if they will ever put out Overwatch 2. Doesn't
Okay.
look like it because there's still no word on that, no release date or platforms or whatever.
Hmm.
I have a bunch of friends that play it religiously, and I just had to step away from it because it was like a little bit too much, and I needed a break from that, from the FPS style and world of gaming. Like now,
There's always a community playing every game you can think of, basically.
True.
I love the world building of that game and the characters and all that stuff. So I occasionally do go back, especially when there's a new event, to pick up any loot boxes for the new skins and all that stuff. So yeah, sometimes. Another thing that's coming out is Primordial trade paperback, which looks pretty cool. Umbrella Academy, You Look Like Death. You're gonna get the deluxe edition hardcover or the regular library edition hardcover.
I'm not, to be honest, I'm not a huge Umbrella Academy fan. I didn't really like the comic. I didn't really like the TV show. I know that's.
Oh, you shut your whore mouth. That's a great series.
I don't know what it was. It just didn't grab me, and so I just don't love it. And so I'm getting rid of the trade paperbacks that I had before.
Okay.
I'm just not a huge fan.
That's fair. It's a very weird series. It's
I don't know what it was. It
Yeah.
just didn't grab me. It didn't interest me, and the TV show just didn't. I know a lot of people love the TV show, so I'm in the minority there. I know that.
I'm indifferent towards it. I tried reading it, wasn't really for me as well.
So Lou's in the middle between me and Lou. Gio's in the middle between me and Lou.
love
Andrew, Lou, what devices are you reading digitally on? Or what device? Sorry.
I have an old Android tablet that I read digitally on, but I'm way past time for an upgrade because that tablet's like 6-7 years old at this point. So, and it's starting to feel it because it's really slow. So in the next few months, I'll probably end up picking up an iPad, like one of the newer M1 models.
Yeah, I enjoy reading digitally on my iPad whenever I read on Hoopla. You should definitely pick up Hoopla, Lou, if you don't have it already. It's a really great app.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Hoopla is the library stuff, right?
Yeah, and every library is different. You get a certain amount of checkouts. I get 15 books a month from my library that I can check out digitally.
Saves you a lot of money.
It's completely free. It's through my library, so they're the ones who pay for it.
Good for them.
Well, I guess my taxes pay for it, but anyway.
I tried downloading it, but no library here had that system. I'm like, that's a waste of time.
If you ever come to the United States, just go somewhere and get a library card. If you ever come to the mainland, then you can use it in Puerto Rico.
More Hellboy. Here we have Young Hellboy, The Hidden Land. Looks really cool. From DC, we already did that. Marvel. we only have here Miss Marvel something new. This is a digest, kid-friendly sized edition of Miss Marvel.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a volume 2 of Miss Marvel for the Omnibus. That's
Oh,
been a
that'd be
long.
fun.
That's been like 5 years, maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to come at this point.
From Boom Studios, or maybe with the TV show.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah. Boom Studios, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, trade paperback volume 7. I assume this is the newer series. Magic the Gathering, hardcover volume 1. Spectre Inspectors, trade paperback. And the others section. I'm not going to go over the manga. Don't worry, guys.
Is this
But
what
I
you
do
cover on
wanna
the
point
Thursday
out-
show?
Manga, let's see. Not next week. Yeah, next week we will probably do previews or something. I don't know. Eventually, you'll see the previews for November and October. So stay tuned for that. Here is Animorphs Volume 2. I had no idea they were making comics based on those books.
I used to love that show and the books too.
Dude, the books got weird and dark.
There's like 100 of them, so I didn't read all of them.
Yeah, I read a good chunk of them, and they got weird. And like they went back in time at one point. It's just all over the place.
Yeah. Here we have Asylum of Horrors Signature Edition. Looks kind of trashy. Don't come at me, guys. It's just my opinion. Case Closed Volume 80. That's noteworthy. Love
Point.
Case Closed.
What manga has the most amount of volumes, Gio? Do you know?
Golgo 13 has a lot of volumes.
Like more than 100?
One Piece has over 100.
Oh my.
And the cop one, I can't remember. Give me a second here. Shoot, because the name's in Japanese. That's why I can't remember it right now. It's one of the high-selling manga of all time, and that would be Golgo has 201 volumes. One Piece has 100 volumes.
201. That's like a whole
Jesus.
entire bookshelf.
Yep.
Just for that one series.
Give it time, Riley. We'll collect all that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Shoot, I can't remember.
But Case Closed is really old, isn't it?
Case Closed started in 1994.
Oh, I thought it was older than
If somebody in the chat can help me out. It's the it's the manga with the middle-aged cop, and I can't remember the freaking name of him right now. Anyways, I'll come back to it in a little bit before the show ends. We're also getting Casual Fling trade paperback. Cookie and Broccoli, Dead Legends Volume 2, Doctor Who Missy, trade paperback Volume 1, God Killer Deluxe hardcover Walk Among Us. I don't know what this is, but the image looks badass. And it's oversized, omnibus, limited to, how wholesome, 666 copies. Good for them.
Oh, that's Black Mask. Well, I know they did hardcovers. They usually just do trade paperbacks.
Yeah. Grim Tales, yada yada. High Rise Invasion. No, these are manga. Sorry. Marvel Meow. It's a manga, but a lot of people are excited for it. It's a collab between Viz Media with Japanese creators and Marvel Comics. So it's cats within the Marvel universe. So I know a lot of people are excited for that. And you're following Chewie, Captain Marvel's pet. Let's see. Midnight Sky, Mooncakes Collected Edition hardcover. Night Fisher hardcover 15th anniversary edition. Painted trade paperback from Humanoids. This is noteworthy. This is the final volume of the Pokemon Adventures Collector's Edition. That wraps up that series. Salt Magic hardcover. First Second comes out with Science Comics Wales. And this is the other thing that I highly recommend people check out. Omnibros is putting out Sheets in a collector's edition hardcover. We've talked about it at length on this channel. I've talked about it on my channel. Fangirls did videos on it. We've talked about it on Omnibros. Freaking Omar has done videos on it. We've all covered it. It's a phenomenal, wonderful series that I highly recommend. So check it out. Sheets.
Do you know what size hardcover that is, Gio?
I think it should be deluxe size. I might be wrong on that.
Oni Press is really inconsistent with their trim sizes for a bunch of different books. So I was just curious.
Yeah, let me see if they have some dimensions on.
It could be like the size of Stumptown hardcovers. Those are deluxe size.
Yeah,
those are Oni Press.
Collector's Edition.
If anybody knows, let us know.
Brand new deluxe hardcover collector's edition features never before seen content from the graphic novel. Blah blah blah. Trim size. I don't know. It's still a mystery, but I recommend it nonetheless. It's a wonderful series. Simon and Chester hardcover. What the hell is this? Swimmy and the Valley of the Last Songs. A bunch of random stuff tonight, guys. Thunder and Cluck.
Toilet Bound.
Friend leads
What is Toilet Bound about?
Toilet Bound Hanako-kun is based off a Japanese urban legend where there's a spirit called Hanako-kun, or Hanako-san, sorry, where it's a spirit that's bound to a toilet because the legend supposedly somebody either was murdered there or committed, how should I say this without getting demonetized, unalived themselves. And in the case of this manga, a girl goes to the toilet in a public school, and the legend says if you knock on the door and ask for Hanako-kun, it will appear and will either get your soul, send you to hell, or actually help you out and fulfill a wish. And it sort of evolves into a mystery detective type story, them solving cases within the school with a lot of paranormal activity. So it's funny. It's
definitely write that down for real manga, fake manga for Jess. That's one I don't know if I could tell if you said that to me. That's why I was stunned.
The humor in it is that it's in a school and the toilet and all that stuff, but it's actually pretty fun. I do like it. It's funny.
How did Jess do on the last real manga, fake manga? Did he do all right?
He won that.
He won. Good for him.
He did really good. And
I think this might be a good stumper for him as the last question. Dude.
Yeah.
Just remember that he's not going to watch this, so he'll never know. So just
True. Too Tough to Die, an aging punks anthology. Sounds interesting. Wave Listen to Me, another fantastic series that I highly recommend. It's a drama in the radio business. It's a manga, but it's drawn. It's a seinen manga, so it's a lot more mature in its execution. I do recommend that. It's a pretty fun series as well. So that's all the stuff that's coming out. If I were to recommend anything, and I forgot Shadow Man Classic Omnibus from Valiant. I forgot about that. If I were to recommend anything personally, I would get the Sheets Collector's Edition hardcover. That would be the book to get this week.
My recommendation this week is the Batwoman Omnibus.
Even though
the cover stinks, it's great stuff in there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's true. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see. How do the Omnibros feel about the Adam Warlock casting? I was going to leave that for Wednesday, but we might as well talk about it now. Who's playing Adam Warlock?
I forgot his name.
Will Poulter from Black Mirror, right?
Yeah, Will Poulter.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great actor.
All right. I don't mind.
I've never seen him in a role I didn't think he was good in, so I think he's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Finally, we're getting Adam Warlock. He's one of my favorite cosmic characters from Marvel. Jesus.
Well, yeah, you knew it was going to happen at Guardians 2, but then with James Gunn leaving, it's kind of up in the air. But now that he's back,
yeah,
we all knew it was coming.
Which I still think this is James Gunn will never work with Marvel again. I really think after that whole blow up, he's done with them, and he's just gonna do DC stuff for now.
I think he's gonna do a lot of his own stuff too going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he hasn't done that in a long time, so I think he's gonna do some of his own indie stuff.
He can pretty much write any check he wants right now with everything he's done so far.
I agree. Jesse, thank you, my dude. Dokaben has the most with 205, followed by Gogol 13 with 202, and then Kochikame. That's the one I was thinking of, where you're following Tokyo Cop, 201. So there you go. Dokaben has the most volumes when it comes to manga. Taylor Talks Comics. Thank you for joining. I've got the first 3 Umbrella Academy library editions coming in this week. Anyone here read them? We were just talking about this earlier. I'm not a huge fan of the franchise. I think I only read like 1 trade paperback. It wasn't really for me.
I think Lou's the only fan out of the 3 of us.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Love the series. It's super weird. If you've ever read any of Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, it's kind of in the same vein as that. But I always recommend somebody to try it out. I think Gerard Way is actually a very talented writer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And he's written a lot of cool stuff, regardless of whether we don't dig Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys that actually transitioned from music into writing, and he did a great job, I think.
G. Scott is waiting on a library version of Black Hammer. That'd be cool.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're making library editions for all of them. What is there? There's 5 of them now. I think I have. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more probably. I love the Black Hammer universe, but I want them to kind of end it soon because I can't keep buying all these library editions. They're starting to take over that shelf.
Simeon says it's getting too big for him, starting to feel bloated in his honest opinion.
And there's a new series coming out called The End.
I agree with him.
That doesn't mean it's the end, so who knows?
I totally agree with him. I was heavy into Black Mirror a few years ago. I was buying all the tie-ins and stuff like that. But after a certain point, it just got too fucking big. I just couldn't keep up with what was coming out.
It's like Hellboy. It's like it's all good stuff. It's just I'm able to keep ahead of it now, but it's just I want it to be done after 2 or 3 more library editions. It needs to end at some point, I think.
Yeah,
that reminds me of Valiant when they did the reboot. You could easily follow all those titles, and now there's like 100 different hardcovers and trades. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I liked it when it was just a smaller line with just like I think it was like 10 different characters that you were following.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just too hard. You have to like jump in right when these things start coming out. It's like the Constantine Hellblazer trade paperbacks of there's 25 of them. I can't buy all those right now. You had to start buying them right when they came out. Unless you want to shell out hundreds and hundreds of dollars at once. You have to jump on those things early. You're going to be paying a lot at once later on.
Then they sell out, and then you're missing one, and it's really hard to find.
And you're buying it at full cover at a comic book shop or on eBay or even above cover. So it's a bummer.
Texas Gaming Comics. Oh, this was in relation to Sheets. The 6-Gun and Kaiju Max are huge. Yes, Kaiju Max is one of the larger books that I own, larger than an Absolute. Scope needs to be pre-planned. Montana's hoping for Peter David Supergirl Omni. That will happen. Maybe not right now, but I'm pretty sure it will happen. So, yeah. Gang, let me remind you, since we're about to wrap up, that this episode is brought to you by the wonderful folks at InStockTrades.com, or IST, as we all like to joke around. InStock Trades is the home for all collected editions that you got to check out, whether it's an absolute, hardcover, a complete collection, a epic collection, trade paperback, manga, all that stuff. When you go to the internet to search for collected editions, you go to InStockTrades.com. $50 or more in your order gets you free shipping. And if you order on a weekly basis, you get an extra 2% of that. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging at InStockTrades.com. And also, Lou, why don't you remind everybody about the Patreon?
Yeah, man. So this Saturday, Gabe and I, we will be getting together and we'll be doing our campfire hangout. At least that's the plan. So for $5 a month, that gets you into the campfire where Gabe and I, we host a Zoom link. and you guys get to shoot the shit with us for, like I said, $5 a month. You get to talk to us one-on-one, get to ask us any questions, and we get to talk about whatever the hell we want without any restrictions or anything like that.
Nice.
Plus, you also get the archive of all the previous ones that we've done before. So that's found in the description below. We'd appreciate it if you did that for us.
Awesome stuff. Mike F says we need a Batman metal omnibus. That's gonna happen like 10 years from now. But
We're getting the metal. We're getting the metal absolute, which doesn't have everything. So that's what you're gonna have for now.
Yeah.
So you're probably not gonna get a death metal Omni for a long time either.
Although that's not a bad idea.
I love absolutes, but
Yeah.
I think they should have done an absolute the entire, because you really need to read the tie-ins to fully appreciate the entire series. For the most part, with events, in my experience, the tie-ins don't matter. I think metal is one of the events where that's not the case. That a lot of times the actual tie-ins are better than the main event.
Yeah.
So I hope they do it at some point for all of you who don't have it.
Texas Gaming Comics. My Something is Killing the Children's slipcase pre-order got canceled this week, and Batman TMNT. Anyone else? So what happened with Something is Killing the Children? Because I read that it got pushed to November, right?
It's they're having problems with the slipcase special edition. So I think the regular hardcovers are fine that I know of. I think it's just that special edition.
Yikes. Batman TMNT, that sucks. My guys got shorted. Sorry.
Definitely buy all your Christmas presents early this year in terms of comics too. Or Christmas will be canceled. Christmas will be canceled this year if you don't order your comics early.
And man, I think 4 or 5 of the Hellblazer trade paperbacks are expensive.
Of course,
but give DC credit because there is only one more volume to complete the series, although there might be one more volume with offshoots.
Joe Chip, yes.
Question from Joe Chip: is the all-new Wolverine omnibus worth it?
That's my omnibus of the year. That's one of my favorite books I've read this year. I think it's one of the best modern Marvel runs, in my opinion.
Nice.
Tom Taylor.
So go get it, Joe.
Tom Taylor has all hits and no misses with me so far.
So here's a question, because I asked this to Jess a few weeks ago. Donny Cates or Tom Taylor?
Tom Taylor, because Donny Cates has some misses for me. Even though I really do enjoy him overall, I think Tom Taylor, like Deceased, All New Wolverine. There's so much other stuff that he's on I can't think of off the top of my head that I have on my shelf. But he just Suicide Squad, his Bad Blood series, he's just always doing so well. And he's great with these alternate universes as well. He's doing Dark Ages at Marvel right now. He's doing that new medieval fantasy at DC. I want to read that. Yeah. I like Donny Cates, but there are some things I've read by him that I haven't enjoyed. That hasn't happened yet with Tom Taylor.
Okay, that's fair. It's so close for me. It's really just right there for me. I love everything Cates has put out, and I've loved everything that I've read by Tom Taylor. I think his Suicide Squad is going to be an underappreciated gem that in a few years' time we'll be like, no, you've got to read this.
I agree. If you do like essential Suicide Squad books, you got to add it to the list.
If you love this most recent Suicide Squad movie, that's definitely the comic to go to.
Absolutely.
Flamofo, my slipcase has not been canceled yet. It'll probably get canceled. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it probably will. But there are a lot of ships parked in the Pacific with our stuff.
What happened?
That's also true.
We're having a really big shipping crisis right now. It's going to get worse.
Oh,
with Christmas coming up.
I would like to see DC make some Hellblazer compendiums. I think they're going to be done with that line. You're not going to get any reprints, and they're going to do Hellblazer compendiums, James. I agree with you on that.
I just don't like compendiums because whenever you read them, there's a crease in the middle, and it just looks really trashy on the shelf. I mean, I'm happy for all you people who love them and you don't care about it. It just bugs me looking back on my shelf and like, oh, look at that stupid crease.
Yep.
That just bugs me.
Probably 6 compendiums would complete the original run. I think that's the safe bet because they enjoy doing the Fables stuff and the Starman. I think that's the way to go for Hellblazer because I don't see them reprinting 26 volumes, 26 trade paperbacks. Come on.
They did it for Sweet Tooth, DMZ. That's kind of their new thing, especially with like independent series that aren't like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. Tom Taylor's Superman run will be fabulous. You heard it here first. Boy, did that cause some controversy on certain sectors of the internet today.
It'll definitely be fabulous. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to read his Nightwing stuff when it's finally collected in the first hardcover.
Yeah.
I've heard that's really great.
So, gang, I got like 3 more minutes, personally, if you guys want to throw any random questions our way before I got to bounce. Comics Guide, where can people find you on the internet?
Comics Guide 101 on Twitter and Comics Guide 101 on YouTube for like a bunch of old stuff that I did.
Yeah. Minister of Comics. When are you going to start making videos on your own channel?
Never, because I'm having a lot of fun doing Instagram at Minister of Comics, where I do reviews, hauls, thoughts on movies, books, comics, and you can find me on Omnidog's Vault on Batterdays in the Batcave this Saturday, where Jess and I are going to be doing our unpopular comic and collected editions opinions.
Mm.
So that'll be a lot of fun. It's gonna be the old man shaking his fist at a cloud episode. Basically, if you want to get the gist of what that episode will be about, that'll be this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Tell him how you think Starman is completely boring. He loves that.
I will talk to him about Machine Gun Kelly on that episode, believe you me.
Oh my god.
That's going to be a topic. So come to hear Jess's answer on Machine Gun Kelly.
No promises. I'm going to try and see if I can read that book, just for the hell of it, just for another episode and just to talk about it here.
If you do, pop up in the chat of that stream, Gio, and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Flo Mofo, I am so sorry, but do check all your orders just in case. Phil, Gio, are you getting the Demon Slayer Blu-ray in December? Unfortunately, yes. I hate that I'm getting it, but I must because I love that series. So yeah, it's expensive. There's 2 sets coming out, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know. There's the Aniplex release and the Funimation edition. And I'm a sucker for higher definition, so I will be getting the Aniplex, which is really expensive. Marvel Guy, 1970s. What do you prefer, Jeff Johns' Green Lantern or Jeff Johns' JSA?
Ooh, that's tough.
That's a good one because both are excellent series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say Green Lantern. That's just the defining book of his career, I think, in my opinion. They're both really great, but I just think his GL has so many great moments that I can think of and look back to and remember.
Yeah, and he did so much for that franchise.
Yeah, I think it would have been a dead character in a way, and not nearly as popular as he is without all the stuff he added to, like the emotional spectrum and everything, the Blackest Night event. JSA is great. It just doesn't have that cultural comic touchstones like Green Lantern does.
I'm gonna go Green Lantern because that Green Lantern run is phenomenal. It should not have worked bringing back Hal Jordan the way that he did, but it worked. It was great. But goddamn, do I love his JSA run? His JSA run is so good, and what he does with all those characters. I'm gonna stick with Green Lantern.
JSA has the more dramatic interpersonal stories with all these older characters in the DC pantheon, but GL just hits the right spot when it comes to like action and visuals. So yeah, I kind of agree with you guys, but both are great either way. So is Tom King's Batman hardcover volume 6 coming out next year?
Finally. I'm so glad I didn't buckle and buy the trades and Stairs has hardcovers like my friend Jess did, and he's kicking himself right now for doing it. But his sacrifice helped me to get this deluxe. So thank you, Jess, wherever you are in New England. Thank you for doing that for us.
Have they finished? Has he finished that run yet? Because he's doing the Batcat thing now, right?
He finished the main series. This is kind of like his final Batman work with Batman and Catwoman. It's been taking forever. For that to come out, though. It's been like 2 years, almost.
Okay. Next Imaginaut. No joke, there was a major vanity feature piece making the rounds today on Machine Gun Kelly. Oh, boy.
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah. Texas Gaming Comics. Y'all read Vinland Saga? Worth the shelf space? 100% yes. Wonderful artwork, a fantastic story. If you like historical fiction, you like Vikings, and you like that little manga anime flair, you're right at home with that. It's think like that excitement when you read like Usagi Yojimbo and you're a huge fan of it because I'm looking at your avatar. That's sort of what I get when I read Vinland Saga. It's got a great character with a nice revenge arc, and in the process of that arc, he grows and matures and finds meaning in his life through tragedy that happens to him at an early age, all within the backdrop of actual historical events. And the author does his research well when it comes to Vikings and action and all that stuff. So yeah, wholeheartedly agree. You got to check it out. And volume 12 comes out next month of the hardcovers, and they're really nice, thick hardcover manga that I recommend. Let's see, one more question, guys. Simeon says Vinland Saga is actually very good. Yes, it is. Just checked DCBS Batman TMNT Omni isn't canceled yet. Fingers crossed, but prepare for the worst.
It'd be a good tagline for DC's collected editions department. Like on the door of like the person who's in charge. Here's how I explained the collected editions department of DC to people on Omni Dog's Vault on Bad Days in the Batcave. Is that this summer I went to the pool with my family and I was meeting my wife and my son at the pool. And I went to show my pool pass to the girl at the front desk and she was sleeping on the desk. I didn't know whether to wake her up or not. And that's how I assume the head of the collected editions department is at DC. They wake up every couple hours and go, oh, crap, I have a job to do. Okay, yeah, put that out. Oh, yeah, I can out and trade paperback. Okay, do something else. Okay, that was deluxe. Okay, trade paperback to follow it up. Cancel that, cancel that, cancel that. I just picture that person freaking out and hibernating again for another couple days.
You're much better. You give them more credit than I do because I just think it's a bunch of monkeys throwing darts at a board and whatever it lands on, that's what they go with.
Yep. So it's not a question, but we're gonna end it on this comment. Didn't the last volume of Vinland Saga come out in November 2019? It has been a while. I thought it was 2020, but I think so. So volume 12 will be. It was supposed to come out 2 weeks from now, but it got pushed to the middle of November. So yeah. But that's about it, gang. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat. Thank you to my lovely co-host this evening. Another successful edition of Omnibros Live, part of the Omnibus Collectors Network. Stay tuned for Wednesday when we'll have the news and comic talk and Q&A. And then Thursday with a comic topic. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody watching later. Thank you to our wonderful sponsor, InStockTrades.com, for supporting this show. So that's about it. We said our goodbyes. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, catch you guys on the next one.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.